Stop! Wait! I'm approaching with aggressive intent. Please trip on that desk that's directly in front of you, that you can easily maneuver around. And please hide under that desk where your feet are still hanging out so I can grab you easier. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Right off the bat, I immediately want to say I enjoyed this movie. It was a fun movie. But I also have to say it was a fun, bad movie. Not in the sense that I think it's a bad movie. It's just not a good movie in movie standards. Maybe not even a good FNAF movie. I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But I loved how this movie started. It started off with like a flashback of Charlotte. If you don't know who Charlotte is. Oh, by the way, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. If you don't want spoils, even though it's been out for 2 weeks, you should go watch it in theaters. It's a good movie. You should not watch this video. I warned you. If you're still watching this video, thank you for watching. Yeah, but the movie starts off with Charlotte's backstory, how she dies. I'll explain who Charlotte is later. So there's a lot of animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's, and it turns out Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise, and most of the story takes place in the original Five Nights at Freddy's, not the one from the first movie, but the original Five Nights at Freddy's. You staying with me now? Hope you are. And Charlotte is, the puppet. The puppet is, a thing that comes out and goes, ugh. And Charlotte, she loves this thing. She's just waiting for it, watching it. And then kid Vanessa comes up to her. She's like, hey, why don't you just come play with us? Just don't be a weirdo and sit by yourself. And she's like, no. And Vanessa's like, please, pretty please. So she eventually folds and they come and they hang out. And Charlotte's sitting there and she's looking around. She sees this kid get kidnapped. Just out in the open, like very obviously kidnapped. And she's like, oh my gosh. And then she runs up to some adult. Hey, that kid needs help. And she runs up to a different adult. Hey, that kid needs help. And you know what every adult says? This is every interaction with every single adult. Yo, can you stop? The adults are talking. I don't care that kid's kidnapped. You can screw off, okay? Adults are talking over here. Adults are talking is like actually like a dialogue from the movie. Like it's actually insane. I was like, whoa, okay, this is something. And then Charlotte, she's like, fine, if these adults won't help me, I'll help myself. And she goes and saves the kid herself. Well, she couldn't save herself. She finds the kid, she picks him up, and she's like trying to drag him out. But like, this is actually like how the dude is chasing her. Actually how he's chasing her. Like, it is the slowest methodical walking I've ever seen. And that's not even the slowest somebody moves in this movie. It's actually crazy. And then she gets out on the stage and she's like, ah, carrying this little boy. And then she dies of stab wounds from, Springtrap, which is Shaggy. I forget what the actual character's name is. William Afton. There we go. I used to be really up with the lore, but now I can't anymore. I'm too far behind. I haven't finished any of the games, and haven't even finished Security Breach. Still have yet to finish that, even though I bought it when this just came out. And then it cuts this amazing title card screen with this amazing music, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. We move right back to where we left off. It's like not exactly where we left off, but I think it's a couple months after. And Vanessa's going through it. She's having flashbacks of her dad, and understandable. Her dad was pretty crazy, high key. And Josh Hutcherson, I forget what his character's name is, with his little sister. She still misses her friends from the first movie, the animatronics, because they were actually kids and were good. And so she goes back there and finds this fast talker that she can communicate with them, but she thinks it's them, but it's not them. It's Charlotte, and Charlotte tricks her into coming back and freeing her from this like security perimeter, like digital perimeter they have up where the animatronics can't leave like the restaurant. And so Charlotte gets Vanessa and the little girl, I keep forgetting their names, I'm really trying here, to help her escape. And that happens through a couple of means. You know, Vanessa is being choked and the little girl might have her head at risk of being crushed, so it's understandable how like they helped evil Charlotte. A big plot of this movie is Fast Fest. Fast Fest is this festival that people have been put on because of like the recent demolition of Freddy Fazbear. I don't know if that's the reason why, but there's Fast Fest. They say it once and they actually do nothing else with that. They're like, oh, it's Fast Fest. And they have a Fast Fest as if it's going to be this amazing thing. And then the only time you see it is with cutscene with Freddy, voiced by the same Freddy from Security Breach, which I love, because it was like the same voice as like, Gregory, get in my chest, Gregory. Yep, just get in there. Another plot of this movie was a science fair, like a robot show, and you know there's all these like robots there, but the science teacher hates Abby. That's her name, Abby. He hates Abby. He's like, shoot, this project is buns, you can't come. And then Abby gets like Chica to help her, but it's really Charlotte, to help her with her science project, and she makes like a little Chica, and then the dude's like, oh, this is crap, and drops it and like breaks it. And then she brings in big Chica. She's like, this is my science project. And he's like, what is this? Get your friend out of that costume. And where it's obviously, you can see like the wires and stuff. He has like layered Chica. You could see it's not a person in there if you use your eyes. Then I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And Chica's like, let me talk to him. And then he has to like leave to go get his keys or something. And Chica follows him, and she like gets him into a room. She like grabs him, pulls him into a room, and he's like on the floor. And then he gets up and starts running. I'm like, oh man, he might get away. He has to get away. He doesn't get away. Here's what happens. Chica's approaching at him like this. Stop! Wait! I'm approaching with aggressive intent. Please trip on that desk that's directly in front of you, that you can easily maneuver around. And please hide under that desk where your feet are still hanging out so I can grab you easier. That was something I didn't like about that movie. It was... people made it too easy for them to kill you. Just power walk away from them, and you're good. Maybe not Mangle. Mangle was pretty freaky. Since it wasn't made for you, stranger. What's something else I wrote down? Josh Hutcherson needs to shut up and date Vanessa already. Alright, skipping to the end of the movie. You know, it's revealed that Vanessa has a brother. And Josh Hutcherson, I can't remember what his character's name is. I think is it Michael? I don't know what his name is. Mike? Something like that. And he's like, you didn't tell me you had a brother? Oh, you stay away from my family. I never want to see you again. She's a baddie. Let her in your life, bro. You need that. You're crazy enough by yourself. I just don't get it, you know? And another thing about the movie is Megan Fox voices Chica. And people are like, oh, she's going to do a terrible job. It's Megan Fox. Why did they cast Megan Fox? I actually enjoyed... was it the best voice acting? Maybe. I don't know. Who am I to judge that? But I thought she did a decent job. It sounded like what I imagined Chica would sound like. It wasn't like I was like, ooh, that's not what I imagined Chica would sound like. No, I was like, oh, okay. Her voice fits the character. Do I think they could have chosen someone else? Absolutely. Like, all you need is voice actors. You don't need celebrities. which is weird. Going back to Fast Fest. Fast Fest was a nothing burger. It would have been a great spot for the final showdown. And they like go there once, as I said, and never go back. The main characters don't even step foot there. It's just Freddy. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's a great costume, dude. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up to the costume contest right after I like squash some heads in or something. I don't remember what he said. Yeah, but the final showdown is actually pretty cool. You know, Vanessa's trying to save Abby because like Charlotte can possess her or something, and it's actually, that part was actually pretty freaky. It made me jump out of my seat a couple times. I was like, ooh, that's pretty scary. And then the final showdown, Charlotte and the gang of evil animatronics is approaching all of them, circling around them, and she's like, break their bones. And as they're like going in, boom, 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 the OG animatronics come to save them. The OG animatronics are there, and they like start beating them up. They're like, boom, knocking their head off. They like rip their head off of their bodies. It was pretty cool. It was a Fazbear brawl. I should have done this review when it was like fresh in my mind still, because I'm trying to like remember, because it was like 2 weeks ago. I'm still a little scared with these movie reviews, but I'm trying to get better at it. But I really enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't think it's necessary to see in theaters. If you just want to wait till it comes out later, see it for cheaper, not in the movie theater, that's totally alright. You don't really need to see it on a big screen. I'm not recommending it for anyone who's not like a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. It's just a enjoyable, fun movie. It's just a funny movie. If you're with your friends, you know, you're not taking anything too seriously, you're not a movie critic, I think you're gonna like this movie.